Welcome to the channel. I'm in Brooklyn. Amazing views of the New York skyline. What a fantastic place. I'm so delighted to be here visiting the Graham Shay Gallery. I'm delighted to introduce Cameron, who will be showcasing some amazing art and sculptures, and I hope you viewers love it. All links and comments below for further information. Welcome.
Welcome to the gallery. The gallery is Graham Shay here in New York City on the Upper East Side. My gallery carries on the legacy of the 160-year-old family firm, James Graham & Sons. And we share this wonderful space with the youngest American art gallery, Lincoln Glen, who are a year and a half old. So it is the oldest New York City gallery merged with the youngest New York City gallery. And we have great synergy and great energy and offer wonderful American paintings and American and European sculpture.
Cameron, welcome to the channel.
Thank you, very good to be here.
Fantastic. So, where are we? Where am I? Because I'm getting confused by 1 Street, 3rd Street, 7th Street. Where exactly are we in New York City?
You are in the Beverly Hills of New York City. This is the Upper East Side, the swank area, the wealthy area, the most beautiful area. I live and work here for the last 40 years. This is my 40th anniversary in New York, and with this fine gallery.
Fantastic. So, Upper West Side, was it? Did you say?
Upper East.
Upper East Side, and all the contact details are going to be in the link below if you want to come and visit this fabulous gallery. And we're going to have a wonderful education today about art. So I've just arrived. I got a few $1 million in my pocket. What should we be looking at?
Well, you're sitting right below James Abbott McNeill Whistler, for starters. One of the great 19th, turn of the century painters, and this exhibition is celebrating artists of the 1913 Armory show. Famous show here in New York, which was curated by a group of American artists and curators, scholars, and European artists, curators, and scholars. And it was bringing European art over to the more traditional American side and educating American artists and the American community to modern art. It was said that New York would never be the same after the 2013 Armory show. So,
first of all, many congratulations on your 40th anniversary.
Thank you.
Absolutely fabulous to have such an achievement. It's incredible. So many congratulations. So we have so many beautiful things. What's the correct term? Educate, because we have so many younger audience members and older dinosaurs like me in my 50s. So what's the right terminology when I'm discovering art?
Well,
paintings, pictures,
painting, sculptures, and it's soup to nuts. You have everything from emerging art to old masters.
I love that phrase, soup to nuts. What does that mean, eh? Is that a New York phrase, or is that a bit of slang in art world, soup to nuts?
It is. Fantastic. And we like it all, although what we focus on is a more narrow focus. We're American art primarily, 1850, sort of second half of the 19th century through 20th century, and a little bit of contemporary, not very much, mostly historic.
Cameron, please educate me on how you put this fabulous place together.
It was an idea that my colleagues had, this being an anniversary of the 1913 Armory exhibition, 1913, 2023. And we looked at our inventory and said, all right, such great artists in that exhibition, hundreds of European and American artists, and many of them in our inventory. And so we pick and chose and curated this exhibition by also borrowing a few things from collectors, other dealers, and we knew pieces were coming into the gallery that we could include in the show. There are paintings here and sculptures that the artists were exhibited throughout the early part and mid part of the 20th century.
Wow. I mean, there are so many beautiful things here. If I was buying, what should I be buying? Where do I start?
Well, to start with, we're sitting in front of a wall of works on paper, everything from Stuart Davis, Robert Henry, one of the great educators and painters in American art, Stuart Davis. This is perhaps what the Armory show affected when it was shown. Stuart Davis was a traditional painter primarily and became famous or is best known as a modernist abstract painter.
Okay.
And James Abbott McNeill Whistler, a European 19th century painter, he was included, interestingly, posthumously in the exhibition. He had died already, but he was included in the exhibit posthumously.
Fantastic. And if I want to come and visit you, when are you open normally? How does one arrange a visit?
We're open to the public, have a website with hours, Google Map. I share the space with fellow colleagues, the Lincoln Glen Gallery. My gallery is Graham Shay. We share the space together, and we co-curated this exhibit and others. We share inventories and have compatible programs.
Fantastic. So, Cameron, tell me how I should invest.
I would say that you don't buy to invest. You buy something because you're passionate about it. You love it, and you want to have it. You have to have it, and you will. Once you do have it, you'll keep it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Cameron. Educate me on this beautiful art, please.
Very happy to. This is an exhibition celebrating the original and historic and important 1913 Armory show here in New York, which was a collaboration of American artists and curators and scholars and European artists, curators and scholars, to bring European art and exhibit it alongside the American artists and American art. American art being more traditional, European art being more modern. It was exposing America to modernism. And it was said, New York, at the time, New York will never be the same. And it encompassed about 200 artists, over 200 artists at the time, painters, sculptors, Europeans and Americans. We've gathered about 60 of the artist participants from that original 1913 exhibition, this being an anniversary year 2023.
Fantastic. What have we got on the walls?
These are 4 wonderful Stuart Davis paintings, who was a New York school, Ashcan school painter in the early part of the century, and likely proved the point about the 1913 Armory show in that he painted very traditionally at this period, but became one of the America's best modernists. He's much better known for his later abstractions, which are in museums all over America and the world. Beautiful things, 4 great examples, all from about 1912, right around when the Armory show happened. And they're paired with James Abbott McNeill Whistler's, who was deceased at the time of the Armory show, but he was included posthumously. And we continue through the exhibition. You'll begin to see some sculpture on the floor of the gallery and other American, and eventually we'll find some European pictures. These are American bronzes and ceramics and carvings from the first half of the 20th century, animal and figurative sculptors. Some more well known than others, but all recognized and exhibited artists. Joe Davidson, Abyssinia St. Everly, Charles Carey Rumsey, Bessie Potter Vano, Gaston Lachaise, and William Zorak, Cecil Howard, all great pieces of art. Maine landscape from 1910, beautiful texture, impasto, and coloration here. This painting belonged to Alfred Stieglitz, the great photographer and dealer, and it actually has wonderful labels on the back of the painting, including Alfred Stieglitz's personal collection label. Now, it's really a fun treat for art connoisseurs out there. It's just been exhibited everywhere and just loaded with these historic exhibition labels. And here's Alfred Stieglitz's personal collection label, which is very rare. Now, this picture has a terrific story behind it. This is an historic lighthouse. At the time, this is about 1920. Agnes Pelton, who painted on the east end of Long Island, which is now commonly referred to as the Hamptons. This lighthouse was in Bridgehampton in the 19th century, and she purchased it and built a studio and home in the first two levels of the lighthouse. And there are documentary pictures of her painting in the summers, in the teens and early 20s, in the summer, living out in this lighthouse. It was later landmarked historic and moved to East Hampton, but here's a beautiful nocturne in the East End style, chase style impressionism. And she, again, must have been influenced by the modernism that was shown from Europe and became an important modernist. This is a rare early work by her.
And what's this colorful thing?
It's a beauty. And as you can see, the red dot says it's sold. The red dot matches the beautiful red flowers and palette of the painting. This is by Jonas Lee, painted in 1922, exhibited at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Art that year in their annual exhibition, shown in New York at the Ainsley Gallery the following year, with a sister painting, which we'll see in Gallery 2, and then again shown in his memorial exhibition here in New York in 1940. And it must have been a personal painting for him. He titled it "In My Garden," and it was not sold. He kept it until the 1930s, when he sold it to a prominent private collector here in New York. And it's just a beauty, and it was in the 1923 exhibition with a sister painting, a landscape, which we'll see in Gallery 2. So there, after, what is that, 70, 80 years, my math is terrible, but they've rejoined and are together again here in our gallery, proudly so. This is the sister painting, the wonderful landscape sister painting to the beautiful Jonas Lee still life that we just saw. Jonas Lee was known more so for his landscapes and marinas and seascapes, marine scenes than coastal scenes of New England than he was for the beautiful floral that we saw up front. But this is a magnificent, heroic scale picture. Again, painted 1922, both of them shown side by side and included in the 1923 Ainsley Gallery catalog, reunited again here in the gallery. And which is lovely to have brought the two paintings back together. The Ernest Lawson is right here, still here.
What's it called? What's it called with the paint?
His technique, it was coined a crushed jewel surface.
Crushed jewels, ladies. If you want some crushed jewels and you want to see Cameron's crushed jewels, you've got to come to this lovely gallery. Look at this beautiful, beautiful painting. This is my favorite.
He was such a colorist and such a texturist and impressionist. This is an unusual subject. He spent a brief bit of time out west, and this is a Colorado scene. He's more well known for his New York scenes, New York School impressionist, but this has all the layers and textures and colors that one would seek in a nice Ernest Lawson painting.
Beautiful.
Circa 1927-28.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I'm glad you found a favorite.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's still for sale.
Indeed. We come to Henry Glittenkamp's Winter Landscape. He was a New York school painter, studied and befriended Robert Henry and Stuart Davis, as we saw up front. They were just a clique of friends and New York artists painting New York scenes, country scenes, marinas, Hudson River. And this is a beautiful, harsh, winter landscape coming to us from a very prominent private collector. We represented his estate and sold it 30, 40 years ago to a New York private collector. It's here from that collection.
Fantastic.
Proud to have it.
Someone told me you had a lovely pair. Start again. Someone told me you had a lovely pair. Two things that must now go together, which is magical. Tell me more, because it's kind of like...
That'll be our next discovery. And here we are starting with Guy Pendubois' portrait of Yvonne. This is his daughter Yvonne, who was also a painter, but she was also his favorite model, and should be, a beautiful young woman, and here elegantly dressed in red velvet cape, green dress, jewels, pearls, just lovely, and it's no wonder he chose her as his model so often. This is a classic painting of his in the 1930s, 20. His early work was dark and Ashcan school. His later work opened up and was bright and beautiful, such as this. And it was a happy accident that we acquired a bronze for this exhibition and just happened to plop it down on this pedestal right next to the Guy Pendubois. And when you examine the two, they were meant to be together. The pose, the figures, the forms, just modernist and go hand in hand. And they're two of my favorite things in the exhibition. And they should stay together. They probably won't, but for the time being, we won't separate them here at the shop. They'll stay together as long as we show them. We'll end the exhibition with two pictures. This view of Staten Island from 1913, the same year of the Armory show. And it's rare to have such a remarkable and large painting of Staten Island looking back at New York. The nameplate says Staten Island looking towards Manhattan. I believe actually it's more likely to be Brooklyn. But this is what Staten Island looked like in 1913. Open space, open property, with a tug and a barge going through New York Harbor. Just a lovely palette, impressionist style and texture to it. And the last painting in the exhibition is a portrait of Chester Dale by Guy Pendubois. Chester Dale, the great art patron and businessman. Guy Pendubois did a number of paintings of Chester Dale. The most significant is in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and this is his personal portrait that he likely commissioned the artist to do. And that's our exhibition. I hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed having you.
So thank you everyone for watching today. Please remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to come and visit New York City and meet Cameron and the team, please do so. Look at the comments below for all of the details. Thank you so much. Thank you, New York. Thank you, Cameron.